Most people, they throw this stuff away without even thinking about it. But this right here, this bad boy, this can grow you some food. And if you're like me, and you're trying to build a garden without having to spend a fortune, then this right here, this is probably one of the smartest things that you can use. Let me show you exactly why I don't throw these away anymore. If you're trying to grow food out there, especially in a small place, and you got two options. You can go ahead, you can spend some money on fancy vertical garden systems, or you could take a look around your house, and then you could realize you already have containers. You see, these are free. Well, for the most part, but they're everywhere. And what's really cool is they can stack. They also drain very easily. They're lightweight, but for some reason, most people just send them to the trash. But not around here. See, around here, we like to take and we like to recycle as much as possible. Why go out to the store and spend a whole bunch of money on a big container when I got a perfectly good container right here at home? Now, this isn't for pumpkins. This isn't for no corn or big crops. This right here is for fast, productive crops. I'm talking your lettuce. I'm talking your spinach. I'm talking some herbs like parsley, basil, oregano. Heck, you could even go strawberries in one of these bad boys. Or you could grow you some green onions, because everybody loves onions. You see, these are shallow rooted crops, right? They don't need 12 inches of soil, but they need consistency. Quick little tip, if you're gonna do something kind of like lettuce, no more than 6 inches deep with your soil. And herbs, they thrive in less. All right, so this isn't complicated at all. Very, very simple. Now I'm gonna show you the way I'm gonna do it for my setup, and then I'm gonna show you a way that you can also stack these bottles into a big vertical tower if that's what you wanted to do. But first, we're gonna start off by cutting the whole top off right now. Boom. So now, you put your dirt in there and the plant can grow out. However, if you wanna, obviously we're not gonna stack these bottles because this one's too small, but if you got all bottles the same size, you can stack them into each other like this, right? But what you would wanna do for all your bottles, you're gonna cut a little window right there on the side, so that way your plant can grow out of that window and not be bothered by the bottles that are stacked. We're not gonna do that today. That's just an option that you can do with yours if you have very limited space. But for our setup, we're gonna go a simple little single planter style. Point of this is to show you guys that you don't have to go out to the stores and buy all this fancy stuff. A simple little plastic 2-liter bottle grow you a little plant just fine. So now we have to make some drainage holes because we want the water to drain out. You don't want water sitting in the bottle that'll rot your roots, ruin too much moisture, right? So let's go ahead, and all we're gonna do is just a couple holes around the bottom there, so that way water can drain out. And I'm just gonna do it on each indent of my bottle here. On each little indent is where I'm gonna do my holes, all the way around the bottom of the bottle. There we go. You can see that there. We got our holes all the way around the bottom that will allow our water to drain out perfectly. Essentially, that's it. You cut your top off, put you some holes in the bottom for drainage, fill it with the soil, plant your seeds, and wait. So now why am I sitting here telling you that this is better than going out and getting a garden pot? See, you could go online right now. You could go buy yourself some vertical garden towers for 80 bucks, 100 bucks, sometimes a heck of a lot more. Or you can build yourself one in 20 minutes with stuff that you're about to throw away. If your goal is to grow food, not impress people, then this works, and it can become the MVP of your garden. And you wanna know what's really funny? That same mindset, it applies right here. You see, we don't waste scraps because our chickens, they're gonna eat them. And we don't waste bottles either because these can grow food. You see, everything on the homestead, it has its job. And now keep in mind, this isn't forever plastic. You're not gonna be using this permanently. I mean, eventually it's gonna break down. The UV, it's gonna hit it. The weather, that hits it. But it gets you growing today instead of having to wait 6 months to afford that perfect setup. And that is what matters. All right, so we went ahead, we put the best compost this side of YouTube right inside our plastic bottle here. If you're new here, go back on the channel, check some of our previous videos. We got a lot of composting videos on how to make some really good compost. We also went ahead and put some holes along the top here for airflow. We want really good airflow through here. I got some jalapeno seeds right here, and that's what we're gonna use to plant in this bad boy. Now remember, don't overcrowd it. It is vertical, but plants, they still need airflow. And that's why we went ahead and did a couple little holes along here. We could get some airflow in here until the plant is able to grow up more. So let's go ahead, open up our jalapeno seeds here. First time I've ever done jalapenos. So I'm pretty excited to start these bad boys. I love me some jalapenos, and I definitely wouldn't mind growing some. So get this bad boy open, and we're gonna get a little handful. We're not gonna go too crazy. So all right, we got a couple jalapeno seeds here. You can see that right here in the hand. We're just gonna go ahead, sprinkle these in here, push them down some, down into the soil there. A little bit, get them covered up. Now for these, I'd say a quarter to a half an inch down into the soil for your jalapeno seeds. I don't know. I put a whole handful in there. Well, obviously we will thin this out, and honestly, most of these will probably end up being transplanted into the other garden pots that I have, but at least this gets me started. And that's the point of this video, is to show you out there, if you have limited space or you don't have a lot of funds to go for all this fancy stuff that you really don't need anyways, grab you a plastic bottle, throw some dirt in it, plant some seeds, put a couple holes in it, set it on your windowsill, set it on your balcony, wherever there's some sun, give it some water, and grow you some food, my friend. That is the whole point of this channel and the whole point of this video today, is it doesn't take much. Really simple, really easy to do. And just like that, right here on our vertical garden planter that we built just a couple weeks ago. Go check that video out. We got this set up right here with all our other herbs and spices growing. Very easy, very simple. Get off the couch, start growing you some food, my friend. Trust me, you're not gonna regret it. Now, of course, you can't forget the very last part. Get that bad boy some water. And look at there, draining out, no problem from the bottom holes there. That's exactly what we wanna see. We are gonna get a little plate to set this on. That way we don't ruin the wood too much. But that's exactly what you want to see. Your water draining out perfectly. Got the sun. We've got everything we need for this plant to thrive. Now it's just a waiting game for these bad boys to sprout. Then we can go ahead and transplant them. Growing food, it doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be intentional. And if you're out there and you're wanting to start growing your own food without having to buy a whole bunch of stuff, then this right here is for you. And we got a whole bunch of more simple builds and homestead projects back on this channel. No fancy setups, just what works. Because the real truth is, you don't need a whole lot to start this lifestyle, my friend. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. So I hope you all learned something new here. I hope that maybe you got inspired a little bit to start this journey in self-reliancy, self-sufficiency, growing food, getting off the couch and being outside, man. Being with nature. And by the grace of God, just becoming more humble and enjoying life for what it really is. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you all for tuning in to the channel. And thank you all for watching another video here on Mundo's Homestead Adventures. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.